Now, social media users in the UK are broadly welcoming Meta's new Threads social platform. Here's what people in London had to say.
A social media app right now, but I think Twitter's had its day. I think anything can basically rival Twitter nowadays. Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk has completely ruined Twitter.
The social media space is just expanding anyways, and so many new things are coming on board, so it wouldn't surprise me if he brought something out and everybody else jumped on it, because Twitter's popular anyways, probably oversaturated, and probably a space for new people to start coming on board and making themselves new as well. So yeah.
There was mention of it a couple of days ago that it's potentially a new competitor to Twitter, but other than that, I think there's a number of questions raised about whether it is of a similar ilk to Twitter, but yeah.
A lot of us have invested so much time as creators into one platform at a time. We don't have time to be investing in a million different platforms. So for me, as someone that jumped on Instagram for years, and I built my own following for years, and now I'm verified today, it's like all my work can pay off now, because now we're on Threads, I get to reap the rewards of all my previous work rather than starting from scratch, starting from zero with Twitter, for example. So that's definitely the most significant benefit to being on Threads.
Arise correspondent Lape Olarinoye has been monitoring developments, and she joins us now from London for more. Lape, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. Now, just yesterday, Elon Musk, owner of Twitter, said Threads was not going to be competition, but his tone has changed overnight. Why is that?
Well, it certainly has, and that's, of course, because of the millions of users that have managed to join Threads in the last 24 hours. 50 million people, including celebrities, organic users as well. And so for that reason, of course, it's more than just competition for Elon Musk now, who, of course, is already facing a lot of backlash of the way he's been leading and running Twitter, which is slowly becoming a subscription-heavy space, open to people to be very kind of vile, a lot of vitriol on Twitter. And so for that reason, Threads has come at a good time for people to migrate over. Of course, the selling point here is also the fact that people can take their followers from Instagram and their verification right over to Threads. Now, it's worth adding here that Elon Musk is calling for this lawsuit, particularly because of the way in which Threads looks, operates, and the way in which has garnered so much traction in the last 24 hours. Of course, that number is going to go even higher over the next couple of weeks and months. And so for that reason, I believe, and it looks as though Elon Musk is a little bit worried about the rate at which Threads is gaining so much traction.
All right, what are some of the details of this particular suit?
Well, that's a good question you asked there, Aaron, because the reason why Elon Musk is filing a lawsuit is because he's looking at the way in which the data that is used in Threads could be essentially mimicked from Twitter. Now, if that is the case, then there is grounds for a lawsuit. However, in America, the laws around intellectual property don't actually protect ideas. They protect the genetic makeup of social media platforms, and that's the only way in which he will have grounds to sue. And so for that reason, it's almost like a wait and see moment to see what will happen when it does eventually goes to court. Now, of course, we know that significant amounts of Twitter staff were laid off at the beginning of this year when Elon Musk took over. And so they are alleging, on the Twitter side, are alleging that a lot of the Twitter programmers, a lot of the people that were involved in the designing of Twitter have now gone off to Threads. And so for that reason, there may be this copycat element to the way in which Threads works. But of course, Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta, has refuted that claim quite profusely, saying that it's nothing of the sort, and that actually you can implement different ideas from other social networking platforms, but actually there's no evidence that the programming of Twitter is the same as Threads. So it will be an interesting lawsuit if it does actually go to court, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But for now, it does seem as though the Meta family have significant defense.
But in the meantime, could this lawsuit be potentially damaging for new social media app Threads?
Yes, definitely. It could be potentially damaging just because of how people have really opened up to threads. Now, it is worth adding here that 50 million users that we've seen overnight, of course, is going to level out and it will start to grow organically. It's, of course, because of the buzz. It's because of the excitement of a new social media platform that allows you to kind of, use within the same space that very much people are comfortable in. And that is why it's seeming as a threat. And also, if you just look at kind of the way in which the events have played out, you wouldn't find something a threat and take them to court if it wasn't more than just competition. Elon Musk has said quite profusely that he's open to competition, but he's not open to the idea of cheating, which he, of course, thinks this is what Threads is doing. But it's an interesting space. Tech is always changing. It's always advancing. So people are quite keen to see how they can benefit from this new app. Threads, it's very easy to use, very similar to Twitter, has different elements in the sense that you can write more characters, you can post longer videos, but you can't DM, which is why Meta is calling it a much more friendly environment for people to thrive and say what they think and want, which Twitter is slowly not becoming.
So, Lape, talk to me. Do you think all the myriads of changes that Elon actually introduced into Twitter are probably opened up an opportunity for Threads to probably plug into and actually go viral? Because it seems to be that whatever Twitter has actually lost has been the gain for Threads as it stands right now, from technology even down to personnel.
Absolutely. I think since Elon Musk took over Twitter, under his stewardship, there have been a lot of criticisms of how he's running it, from the way he's treating staff with mass redundancies to the way in which Twitter is now slowly being operated. He claims it's, he wants people to thrive. He wants less data and more voices. But actually, it's becoming a place where we're seeing the emergence of more bots, trolls, and different kinds of views, misinformation, if you like, as well, is a big part of it. Of course, in the emergence of AI world that we live in now. So for that reason, there are a lot of criticisms. And also there's this idea that everything on Twitter has slowly become subscribed. I mean, me and you both know that as journalists, Twitter is a very good space to look at trending stories. It's a place to find case studies. It's a good place to engage with, with ongoing trending news. He wants to turn a very popular desktop platform of TweetDeck, where you can almost see all the different activities at once. He wants to turn that into a subscription-based program where in the next 30 days, you could be paying to use TweetDeck, which is alien to many people that have used it to work for many, many years. So for that reason, there are business elements of not wanting to use Twitter. There's also personal elements. And of course, there's the human element of people being made redundant. It's worth adding here that people at Meta have also been made redundant. But now with the emergence and launch of Threads, there's room for more kind of migration, there's room for more development, and there's room for more new ideas. And that's what we're seeing with the launch of Threads. People feel like Threads is easier to migrate to because they've already got their Instagram pages, their bio, their names, and so on, and that can easily move on to Thread as a standalone app. So it's a very user-friendly, enticing way to garner traction, something which a lot of small tech companies don't benefit from. I mean, we watched that Vox Pop earlier of the young man who said that, he's already grown his following on Instagram, and he can basically just move that straight over to Threads because you can follow the same people, they get the notification, and as the English would say, Bob's your uncle. So it's a very seamless way to migrate onto another app, something which Twitter isn't at the moment. It's standalone and it's almost like a different space. And so for that reason, the way in which it's been led under Elon Musk is very much a deciding factor as to when people stay on Twitter and go to Threads. And also, don't forget, there's the verification element. He's removed that, and now all the celebs who are verified on Instagram can easily be verified on Threads.
Well, very interesting development. Lape Olarinoye, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.